And now the Texas Education Agency declares a Houston Independent School District kaput. The latest report by the TEA confirmed much of the information included in its August report, that the trustees exceeded their authority, violated open meeting laws, stepped around contract awarding and procurement regulations, and several failed to cooperate with this investigation. Several were deceptive when they did cooperate, and as a result, we'll be taking over HISD. TEA is going to do that. State Senator Paul Bettencourt has been watching this saga play out for quite some time, has no lack of opinion about this.
No lack of opinion.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Cameron.
What are your thoughts about that? The TEA's finally done what you've been advocating for quite some time.
Well, I think this is going to be a really good step for the parents, the teachers, and especially the school children of HISD. We've got the largest school district in the state. It's over 200,000 school children, and they deserve a board that will stay up with them and look at education as the primary goal that when they meet. The problem with this other board is they're throwing racial epithets at each other. They're having huge fights over contracting. Some of the behavior I believe is criminal that's in the report. And when you've got the board president staring down an administrator and saying, I'm going to take your job unless you move one of the two vendors and pick the vendor I want you to pick, or I'm going to fire you, they got to go.
So a lot of that came out because of the extensive investigation and interviews that came along the way there. Clearly, the TEA has done this before in terms of school districts. Those districts have been a lot smaller. This is going to be a different kind of challenge, is it not?
It is, but first off, we've got, I think, the best education commissioner in the country, which is Mike Morath. Two, we've done it before in El Paso. See, El Paso had the same problems, Cambrell, with corruption at a board. They finally had academic issues, just like we've seen with Kashmir and Wheatley High Schools, and they didn't do anything about it. State came in, made a change on the financial side, and there was better results. I think that's going to be the result here in HISD.
How long did it take in El Paso to get that process from start to finish? Do you remember?
I remember it's probably 3 or 4 years. Okay. So it can take a while, but the fundamentals here of the diversity, the strength of Houston, if you have a board of trustees that was not calling down all this negative behavior, because they really did it to themselves. You know, that's the real truth here. The Board of Trustees got themselves fired either on the election booth or by TEA, by their own actions. You put in a Board of Governors that's willing to listen to everybody and look at how to optimize the strengths of the district. We're going to come out with better financial results for taxpayers, but more importantly, better results for kids on education.
You talked about they were fired either by TEA or by the ballot box. 4 trustees were being replaced this election cycle.
Sure.
Some decided not to run again. 2 of them at the ballot box. One of them, Judith Cruz, is one of those who hammered board chair Diana Davila on Tuesday. Here's what she said about her plans if or when the state takes over and the reaction of the teachers union.
I plan to fill that role. I will be at every single meeting. I will be watching what the Board of Managers is doing. I will ensure that the community is aware, that they know how to hold the Board of Managers accountable.
It doesn't make any sense to me that we're going to have a completely new board and the only people that are going to get punished are the community.
Your comments on that, on both of those counts. I mean, on Judith, who won, who is obviously one of those people who...
Judith's comments are great, okay, because she still has her trusteeship, okay? She just doesn't have the duties of it, but she's going to come to board meetings. I think that's very meritorious, and she's involved. And because her term may be there when the Board of Managers goes away and she comes back as a voting trustee. I think Mr. Capo's comments are wrong, because here's why. We can't do the same things over and over again, expect any different results. And Campbell, the only reason why we had board turnover is because of all the activity that started with the Open Meetings Act violations, with them hiring and firing interim superintendents at restaurants and you know at press conferences. And if we get all that behavior out of there, we bring in a good board selected by a guy that was already a Dallas trustee. See, that's where Mike Morath comes from. He was a Dallas trustee. Right. So he knows the problem of urban education better than anybody.
So what's the process? You have to put out a public notice about this happening, first of all, and then you put out bids or open up the process for people who want to be
TEA, and you can follow this on the TEA's website, and I'm not trying to speak for him, but it's pretty obvious. There's a comment period up through November the 20th that HISD can actually ask for basically an administrative, opinion or re-audit of this. There is a federal lawsuit that's in San Antonio about this issue. I think because of the board's failures, because of some of the procurement, I believe close to criminality. If it's not, I'd be surprised. And also the academics and the conservator that's already there. No matter which way you go in that document, it's going to happen. I think that the Board of Managers will be there by first part of next year. And right now, it's open for applications on the TEA site right now. It's wide open.
So the trustees who were elected this past week actually could be sworn in as trustees before the Board of Governors takes over.
Right. They
because of the timing.
Because of the timing, and because, look, it took years to get here. So, and I think Commissioner Mrath made the right decision to wait till after the election. But more importantly, those applications wide open. If you're interested in this job, apply. Because they're taking applications from everybody, and there is no, I've had no involvement with, and I've heard of none where there's been any discussion of who's already coming. I think it's totally wide open. It will be a diverse people, a group of people that are pledged to the kids, and that's what that board should be doing, Cambrell. And we've talked about this for years on public policy. I think it's going to be a great step.
And that's going to be, they can go to the website and find out all the information.
Sure, right.
TEA.
And the TEA website, and the community's backing it. Look, Harold Dutton, who wrote the law, is in favor of this. Jolanda Jones talked about it at a Cashmere event. She thought this was a needed step. She didn't like it so much, but she needed, Representative Murphy, I just came from breakfast with him. We've got a bunch of legislators behind it. I believe the community is going to be behind it, and I think the results are going to be really good in 2 to 3 years.
Well, I should say here, you're here because of your role on the Education Committee. That's why you've been involved in all of this, and so we'll continue to talk with you about this as this process continues and see if it's meeting the expectations of your committee and the rest of the folk who are in this community.
And of the community, because that's the key thing, too, as well.
Senator, thank
you. No.
Appreciate all you do.
Thank you, Kimbrough.